Hey friends, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm your host, Gabby, and I'm honored that you pressed play today. I'm a wife, a mom of four, a personal trainer, and passionate about helping others lead a healthy and peaceful life. Are you looking for a space where you can feel seen, educated, and gain practical tips? Are you burned out from the online world and just need a cozy place to come and learn without all the extra noise and endless scrolling? We are going to get real, dig deep, and engage in topics like navigating motherhood, what living healthy can look like, fitness, gardening, relationships, faith, and much more. I am far from perfect, but I invite you along for the journey because, well, this is life, and we are always growing and evolving. And if you're ready to finally take action and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Welcome back, guys, to another episode on the show. Thank you for being here. My name is Gabby, and I hope this episode finds you well wherever you are at in life and whatever you are doing right now. Thank you for pressing play and taking me along with you in your day, in your week. Before I jump into a few updates on life and some things, just want to let you know we are going to be talking about on today's episode about being intentional this summer in terms of being intentional with your health, being intentional with relationships, and being intentional with your boundaries slash like peace, we'll just say, or slowing down. So we all know that summer is here and it can just come and go like that. Like I was literally just at the chiropractor today and we were booking out into July. And I was like, oh my goodness, already into July. And she's like, yeah, summer's here and now look, it's already almost over. And I'm like, no, don't even talk like that. That's crazy. And I don't even have kids that go like to school. We homeschool. So like I can't even imagine like the shift in all the homes where like, yeah, the dynamics change and tons of stuff changes. But summer can go by. So we're going to talk about just some ways to be intentional. There was things I was thinking about, and then our church had happened to start a sermon that kind of went along with some of these things that I had been mulling on and wanting to talk to you about. So it kind of fit well, and just kind of pulling a little bit from that, and just wanted to encourage you guys. But I wanted to quick update you and some housekeeping things. So I have talked about now that my 50K is over, I feel like my brain can like kind of start entering into the Chicago Marathon. This will be my first world major marathon. I don't really have like the goal of like running all of them. It's not like my thing. At least the current goal of right now, that is not going to be in the books. But this one, I'm super excited. I wanted to do one outside of Wisconsin. I wanted to do a super fun one, and I think I'm going to be in for it because I have never run in a race with more than probably 4,000 people. And this is like 10 times that. So I'm going to have to get real used to like 40,000 people. Maybe it's more. I actually have no idea. So I did not get picked. I did not run a marathon recent enough to qualify with a qualifying race time. Crazy fun fact. So my last official road marathon was in October of 2017 after I had my first son. And I ran... yeah, that was my first ever marathon. I ran here in Wisconsin, and I qualified for Boston. Wasn't the plan, but then as my training went along, I realized where I was at, and I was newish to like this whole running world of like what's a Boston qualifying time and how, I just like all these things. And it was my first marathon, so it was a big deal, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. So I ran that, and I did apply for Boston, and I did get accepted. And then I ended up getting pregnant with my second son. And I would have been about between 6 and 7 months pregnant by the time Boston would have come around. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm doing that. I don't want my Boston experience to be while I'm pregnant. So I decided to pull back from that, and that was okay. That was a choice I fully owned. And I've kind of just had to put Boston kind of on the back burner. So I planned to run a marathon again in 2020. That was well enough post my second baby. Well, that one got canceled because, 2020. And so a friend and I just ran a half marathon. We were running it in honor of someone who passed away. And so we just both ran a half marathon and called it a marathon when you add that together. Funny fact, I was wondering why I was dead tired the day before. I literally was like, I cannot get off this couch and I'm supposed to run a half marathon tomorrow. Well, I found out after running that half marathon that I was pregnant with number 3. So, so then got pregnant again, then was going to run a marathon in 2023, right? I think that's the year. And ended up getting pregnant by surprise, was not the plan, and my marathon got canceled again because the same one, but this was because of road closures, and they had to make a new route, and they could not pull enough of the permits on time, so they couldn't host it. Therefore, it got canceled, and it actually got picked up by another running club locally, and they quickly pulled something off in like a week or two. I couldn't find any other marathons that were going to work with time frame and knowing I was pregnant and things like that. And so they hosted one close enough, and it was out and back on a trail 4 times. It was like 6.2 miles, I think. Yeah, something like that. And I had to run it out and back 4 times. So that was fun. It worked out because I was pregnant. It made it very easy and safer and whatnot. But it was by that 4th round, I was like, are we done yet? Very easy for spectating. That was fun for the spectators. But yeah, I would really just prefer to not have to do that again. So I would love to redeem all of that and have a solid race this year in Chicago. This is the year of no recent baby, not nursing. The plan is to not get pregnant, and so I would love to just go for it. So Chicago is October 12th, and I did not get picked for the lottery. I did not have a qualifying time for any recent marathons because I haven't run one. And what was the other thing? Oh, okay. So then I decided to sign up with a charity. So they have a bunch of different charities that you can choose from and you fundraise. So I decided to team up with World Vision to help provide clean water to children in communities in other countries. So on their site, I'm just reading here, it says more than 800 children under the age of 5 die every day from diarrhea caused by contaminated water, poor sanitation, and improper hygiene. And they believe that global water and sanitation crisis can be solved within our lifetime. And so for every $50 that's donated, that equals clean water for one person. And so I am partnering with World Vision, and I am raising money. So far I have $350, and my goal is to get near $3,000. And if that is something that you feel led to support me on, I would absolutely love that. Not only are you supporting me, but you're supporting the children in other countries. It's about them. It's really about them. So I'm partnering and I'm raising money and I'm talking about this because I can get behind a charity such as this. We actually used to sponsor children. It was through Compassion International, I believe. It wasn't World Vision, but a similar thing where you can sponsor a child and be able to send money to them or gifts or whatever, or letters monthly and all of that kind of stuff. So you could even sponsor a child as well. But this is what I am doing, and any donations are very much appreciated. I have a while still, but want to continue to reach this goal and be able to fund more and more of this mission to be able to provide the clean water that that we're fortunate to have here in the U.S. So yeah, that's my little marathon blurb. I will keep you updated on that. And if you do donate it, I will see, it'll like alert me or show like who donated or whatever. I think if you like say that you put your name there or something. And so I can reach out to you and just say thank you. I would personally love to thank you. So that is my goal. I am running for World Vision Chicago Marathon, October 12th. Thank you for considering. Okay, so moving forward, we have basically wrapped up our school year, which is super exciting. And I didn't really do anything to commemorate the end. We kind of did already with a co-op camp week. So co-ops are like a way of coming together and learning like a certain subject together, or someone is very talented in a certain area or are passionate about a certain subject, and they are willing to teach a group of children all together. So my mother-in-law, like I said, she's passionate about history, and we've been doing a history co-op all school year, and she wanted to close it out with, and she's done this in years past, so this isn't new, it's just hasn't been done in a while, and it's a lot of work. So if you've ever heard of like Vacation Bible School or attended Vacation Bible School, it was like this, but history style is what she was going for. And so it was every day, it was right after Memorial Day, so it was Tuesday through Saturday, every day from 9 till 12:30, and then the kids would stay and play till 2 or 3, have lunch, all the things, and then she would get ready and set up for the next day. By no means was this an easy feat, but we all showed up, and we had a wonderful week of the co-op camp week, and it was centered around like pioneer living and the gold rush, and just getting to go to, we rented out a schoolhouse at a historical society just up the road, and they opened up their old schoolroom, and we got to do school like they would do in the frontier days. So we had frontier school, and just were taught different lessons in a way that they would have been taught back in the day. You know, they had chalkboard, and they had chalkboard slates. They didn't have paper that much. They didn't all have books. They didn't have tablets. No electronics type stuff. So we just kind of made it that, and had recess and did fun things. And then on the last day was Gold Rush. And so they got to pan for gold in the sandbox in a little river, and go to the general store and buy things with their gold. Like it was a legit all out. And it was so cool. Learned songs, hung out with their friends and cousins all week long. Danced and sang and learned a lot, and tons of hands-on stuff. Tons and tons of hands-on learning. And so that is basically how we ended our school year. We will focus more on just like the day-to-day living for summertime. Once this garden, I mean, it's already starting to get into like serious mode. Teaching them what weeding looks like, and harvesting, and then preserving, all the things. So most of that time will be spent with that, and then, taking care of our animals and reading. I think just reading and spending time playing games, and really just not having a force on, like, we need to sit down and do some book work. Every now and again, maybe there's like some fun activity book we can do together. They can pull up puzzles, maybe on the rainy days kind of thing. But I'm here for summer. I'm here for, all the popsicles and pull out the water or the pool. I was going to say water toys, the pool. So that's kind of where we are at with school and our homeschooling, and I'm proud of my boys, and even Juliet, who just turned 4. She has learned things, and she's learned some games, which is really exciting. Like, she really knows how to play Uno now, playing Sorry. If anything, if I can encourage you in homeschooling, and it's mainly my husband loves and grew up with a lot of game playing. He played games a lot in their family. I mean, they had 8 kids, so plenty of people to play games with, right? But he would play by himself too, as a weird homeschool kid. I'm just kidding. Games are such a, you wouldn't realize it, but like such a great tool and a fun way to teach your kids math, counting, taking turns. There's just so much to it. Logic, what am I thinking of? Strategy. And it would carry over into their like book work. And I'm like, this just is amazing because like they've counted on dice. They've rolled a dice. They've counted with their little pip. They've waited to take turns. They've had to match colors for like Uno or match a number, and then it's just like, oh, now it's carrying over into other areas. And so like games have been such a great tool and resource to also, I think it's a great teaching tool, but you get to like have a lot of fun with it, and kids don't find that like school like, you know what I mean? So, we'll pull that out, but Juliet really has learned a lot of those. And, I mean, she knows her ABCs and can count to like, I think 12 before she starts making up numbers. And my son, just before her, he was learning his ABCs, and he was like 5. And so she learned them because I was teaching him, and she picked up on them way sooner than he learned them because she was listening. And so I've shared that before, and it's just the beauty of that cooperative learning and the homeschooling. Doesn't always happen that way, but for some of those basic things, it sure does. And it's really neat to be able to reap those benefits. So yeah, homeschooling. Also, mine and Alex's. We were in a marriage class. I don't know if I even shared that, but we joined a marriage class at our church, and I believe it started in February. And we decided to commit Sunday evenings to that as a way to stay connected during tax season. It had childcare, and it had dinner provided for the adults, and it was also a way for us to connect to more people in the church. Everybody's new to us. This is a new church to us as of last fall. And, it takes time to build connections, build relationships. And we really hadn't poured into our marriage intentionally, we'll say. And while many topics didn't quite seem to be like our struggles in our state of marriage. We've been married for 12 years. We come from very Christian households, grew up in the faith, and just very great examples, and really clung to that and started off really well in our marriage. Not saying it's perfect by any means, but we were able to, I think, avoid many things because we had people in our life that spoke into our marriage, and we knew like when something was not, like when I'm being selfish or when he's being selfish or, just all the things. So we had a good solid foundation on God in our marriage. And I think that's what really kept us from a lot of struggles, in the past. And so we wrapped that up, and we got to have a lot of great tools in our toolbox, I'll say, just for times when we need the similar verbiage to be able to work through a situation where we both learn different ways to approach topics or struggles or a situation. And the book really just that we went through really helped give us both practical ways to apply things. So that was a really cool class to be a part of. It was the first one hosted at the church. This is a newer church, and we were part of kind of that like launch of this marriage class. And I know that we benefited from it it was also just a joy to witness some other marriages be restored or start becoming restored during this, and just the beauty in that, and not giving up. So yeah, and it made us be intentional. So I'll let that kind of lead into the being intentional with this summer. I said that our church is doing a 3-week sermon on a summer on purpose is what it's called. And it got me thinking more about, my summer personally and for our family. And, with Rooted in Health, the show and the mission and the brand here, it's really rooted in health. Like, there's so many more things. Health can apply to, being healthy in your relationships, being healthy in your finances, being healthy in your health and fitness, like your body, being healthy in your mindset and your emotional state. So like the word health is kind of like a overarching theme, but of different subcategories of your life. And I just felt like this was a really good way of, being rooted in a few areas, being intentional. And I'm going to talk about 3 of them, focusing on 3 areas that we can be intentional, that I can be more intentional about. And not that these are to strictly only be intentional about in the summertime, but specifically talking about it this time of the year now, because we can kind of just, like I said, let things just slip by. Summer comes and goes and we get so busy. And while it's so great to enjoy the break from the structure of school and a different time structure and schedule, it's nice to have that break, but we can miss out on some of the benefits of incorporating a few things that could keep you from burning out this summer, from maintaining peace in your life, and that you make sure that you have energy for your day-to-day and for all the things, and just really not letting the summer hustle and bustle steal from, because honestly, life doesn't slow down, right? And so I feel like holidays and the summer are like busy times. And I think we could learn to just really step back and slow down. If you have some extra time during this time of the year with your kids, maybe you have a little bit of a less work schedule, or you don't work while your kids are off of school, or whatever it looks like. Just being intentional with your time and making it look different and feel different. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was your health, being intentional with that. And it's not just about the eating and the exercise, though those are very important. It's also about getting good sleep, and more often than not, it's summer, so there will be nights, but getting outdoors in the sunlight, which isn't super hard in the summer, but just starting your day with that. Fitting in that mobility and stretching, limiting your alcohol if you choose to drink that, finding time to fill up your cup just a bit. So health can take on, in terms of your physical health, can take on many different areas. And again, it's not just about the calories or the macros or the high intensity workouts. I want you to make sure that you're really intentional about getting some sleep, getting out in some of that daylight right away to start your day, set your circadian rhythm. Don't just go off the charts here and just have all these drinks and sugary snacks and processed foods and lack of sleep and just sitting on the beach, not exercising at all. Making sure that you're still filling up your cup, because you want to feel good this summer. You want to be able to keep up with some of the things. As much as we want to slow down, there will be things that will demand our time and our energy. And as far as it comes to your food, I wouldn't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate the nutrition or the food that you put in your mouth, okay? Outside of the parties, your weekends away, events, musical festivals, or whatever you attend, just keep it basic during, outside of all of those things. Just keep it basic and attainable when things are in your control, because You just want to go to the parties and the getaways and the concerts and stuff, and just enjoy yourself. And you should. And so just know that if you do that, those foods that we typically will enjoy don't really serve our bodies to have every day all the time. And it's okay to enjoy them. I do. But when you are in a controlled environment and more, you want to stay more on track than not, fruit and veggies, always have them stocked. Have homemade salad dressings ready to go. Find your favorites, save them, write it on a sticky note and tape it to a mason jar so that it's like always the go-to recipe ready to go. Prep a few egg bakes or overnight protein oats. Keep protein options on hand. I mean, just keep it simple, keep it easy. Have those things available for when you are not, or for when you are home, or easy things to grab when you go to the beach. It's not hard to grab like salami and cheese and fruit and veggies and, those kinds of things. Bring your favorite chips. I don't care. And then, find fun ways to move your body. Pick something to stay consistent with. Maybe go pick up a new sport or hobby, like learn pickleball. I don't even play. I don't think I've ever played pickleball, which probably sounds horrible. Everyone's played pickleball. But yeah, tennis, pickleball, go play basketball, go play disc golf. That's what we play. We play disc golf. So maybe you've never played disc golf. Just find a way to get active. You can go walking, you can go running, you can go biking, find a dance class. I mean, I really don't care. It's just finding something, and maybe you just need to find something new or do something that's more summery and outdoorsy that you can't really do in the winter, and that would be something you would show up for. Get your family involved if they're of age. That is always super fun and will keep you active. Or maybe find some sort of daily challenge or something, or create one, or look for something that's a daily a daily challenge that would hold you accountable. Or find a friend or a family member that would be like, that you could text each other, be like, I'm done, I got it done, did you get it done? Day 5. So I have been, if you have seen online, I've been doing push-ups consistently since last fall. I've been doing almost a daily challenge with that for a long time. I have gotten so much stronger with that. I've been doing core challenges. I've been doing pull-up challenges, and I am seeing the results paying off, the consistency paying off. The results are coming. I'm able to do about 4 to 5 pull-ups without a assisted band, which is crazy to me because I literally couldn't even get on, I literally couldn't even get myself to pull up. I didn't know how to engage my back properly. I'm very strong. I will admit that. And my husband has said that I'm very strong upper body. But I couldn't nail the pull up for whatever reason. And so I had to train my brain and my muscles to do pull-ups, but with assisted. So I started with a heavier resistance band, then moved to a lighter one that held less of my weight. And one day I was like, I'm just going to give it a try and see what I can do. And I did a couple, and the next day I was able to do 4 or 5 because I felt like, wow, I think I can do this. And while they're not perfect, I look forward to seeing what more of this consistent showing up will do for me. And my goal by the end of the year is, if I can get 7 solid pull-ups, maybe I'd get to 10. I don't know, but I'll keep it pretty achievable for now. So it all just starts with just the little things. Do 10 push-ups, 5 assisted pull-ups, 10 sit-ups times 3, and there's 3 rounds of that, and you've got a little circuit, something achievable. Or just do 100 push-ups in the day. How many can you get done? Or see when you can get them in, split them up throughout your day, or knock them all out in the first portion of your day. It depended on my day when I would have time to get it all in, or if I would just be like, I'm going to get the first 50 accomplished, And then I would finish the other 50 later in the day. So find a daily challenge, get moving, stay hydrated, eat well, but enjoy yourself for sure. The next one that I want you to be intentional about are your relationships, the people in your life, in your circle. Life wasn't meant to be lived alone. And building relationships is hard because you have to be intentional. You have to be vulnerable. And you have to sacrifice time and sometimes money to build relationships. I don't quite remember if this was the exact, I'm just going to roll with it, the exact number, but I've listened to a podcast that was talking about relationships and community. And in order to establish like a really firm relationship, friendship, or whatever you want to call it, you have to have spent almost 200 hours with this person, investing in them, in your relationship, in your time. Like, that's a lot of coffee dates. In order for that relationship to really bond, I don't really even know how to break that down in terms of like what would be achievable in a week or on a monthly basis to know like what's the timeline on that? What's the turnaround on that relationship to when it would really feel strong and connected. Starting over at a new church, super hard. Building relationships, being vulnerable, meeting new people, saying the same things over and over again, or forgetting people's names and they forgetting yours. And, oh wait, how many kids do you have? And, all these things. And nobody knows our life. No one knows our past. No one knows anything. So that has been a real one for sure for us. And we have experienced, and by we, like our family, me and my husband, we have experienced firsthand what it looks like to live life with others. And not just our family, but with other like-minded friends. And we wanted personally to organically grow that ourselves. So we've been a part of other people's circles of fellowships or community, and we are not a part of our old church anymore. We don't have that. And we were in a season of very little kids for a long time, and it felt really hard to put forth that energy and time. We had a lot also going on in our life, just so much for a few years, that it didn't feel super easy to do it on our own. And so we knew that with a move and that with a bigger home, that was something that we wanted to begin doing. And so we wanted our home to be used my goodness, I can't even speak. We moved so that this house could be used for sharing and inviting others into our world. So that was a goal, with a home being a little bit bigger, having a little more space, place for children, because if we invite others, that means families with children. And we know that during the summertime, it's not easy with summer, the plans and the vacations and the events and the parties, whatever, all of that makes it hard to plan things, but or even just having our kids, it just makes things hard sometimes. But the positives of it all far outweigh the negative. And there's something really fulfilling in having a rich community around you, people that you can rely on and be open about with your struggles, and just create shared experiences together. There's something so rich in that when you have taken the time to get to know people and invite them in and help lower the defense wall or the shyness, that you can just be real with each other And yeah, there's a beautiful thing in that. And getting to share that with people that have similar values and beliefs and be able to encourage one another in that area and in that way. And so we actually are opening our home this summer. We're going to provide food and give up a small portion of our summer. And we're actually looking forward to it. A little nervous just with, some of the families we haven't met yet completely. And we're doing a little bit of some families from our new church and then some other local friends nearby. And we're just going to kind of roll with it. We felt led to try this. And, you just have to show up and do it imperfectly. But this is the way that we can connect and that we can be servants and we can open our home. And so we just followed that prompting and look at it as a way of giving. And yeah, we're really excited about it and looking forward to being intentional this summer. And really, when we look at it, it's only 6 days out of the summer. It's not a big deal. It's not a weekly thing. We don't want to make people freak out like they got to commit to something every week. And of course, not everybody can make it every time, but we're just hoping to create a connection point. Really have no agenda. It's just sharing a meal, hanging out, come and stay as long as you want, eat as much as you want, and things will organically just come from that. So that's where, being intentional with relationships can come in. And so just whatever that looks like for you, just being intentional with people who you know or people you don't quite know yet. Maybe get yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, or something in your neighborhood. Start something. It can all be just inviting people for a pool party or backyard barbecue, or creating a fun event for people to come to. Our pastor had an idea for backyard Olympics, and you could create a few obstacle courses for people or for kids, and just make it a super fun thing. You can just come up with anything that you want. You could have a theme night, but really just being intentional. Or you start a little book. It depends on the season of your life. If you don't really have little kids, or your kids are grown up and doing their own thing, maybe you are intentional with a coffee date with someone. Maybe there's someone you really want to connect with more, or a little ladies group or men's group, or being intentional with moving your body and connecting. I mean, that is also one way I have done it with running too, that is countless hours spent with people. And that is sure one way to get to know someone. And I wish I knew all the hours that I have spent with each individual person that I have run with, to match it up to that 200, But I know when I've really created a firm relationship, a place where I can be vulnerable, safe place, there's just the beauty in that. And so that's why running is such a gift, or exercising with other people. It's a different way to connect intentionally with others as well. You don't have to do it alone. You just have to be purposeful. You have to be intentional, as we're talking about. So, and I think that's one reason why, when one person in my life was around for many years, and I had spent countless hours running and some things outside of running, and that person is no longer in my life, it completely rocked my world. Because if you've ever experienced a loss of a friend or a family member due to whatever the situation, death, or they're still here and they just chose to not be in your life anymore, or moved away, or whatever, what you have was a good thing when it hurts so bad when they're gone, and it feels like this empty gaping hole. That is a true intentional relationship. So, and you can only have so many of those in your life. So, if you're really good at that, great. But you could focus on something this summer, someone, or a small group, and get out of your comfort zone a little bit. There's good things that can come from that. All right, and the last thing is boundaries / like slowing down, having boundaries with your time and your energy and who you invite into your mind and onto your social media and into your ears and into your day. It all matters. And sometimes what we do allow in just doesn't allow us to slow down, to have peace, to feel content, because we're being fed so much these days. I'll be the first to admit that I like saying yes to things, and I get serious FOMO, fear of missing out, pretty easy. And it can nip me in the butt sometimes when I overcommit to things. And I am always like, Gabby, you can say no to this. You don't have to say yes. It's okay to miss out on this. It's not the end of the world. Like, I have to get over it. But I'm also a high energy, overachiever, busy person. And once I sit down, it's likely that I will want to take a nap. So I just don't sit down. Unless I'm doing this podcast. I am sitting, which sometimes does make me tired, it's wild. I don't like labeling myself or people in a sense, like for just anything and everything. But like ADHD is like for real a thing. And it's like if my brain is not stimulated with like, you think of like your phone pings you so often. It's like if I'm not getting that next dopamine hit, like my brain doesn't know what else to do, and so then it'll just become tired and my body just gets tired. Like if I'm not tending to a kid, if I'm not doing a chore, if I'm not out in the garden, if I'm not picking up toys, if I'm not working out, then if I'm just like doing nothing, if I'm just sitting and reading a book, if I am just being, it's really hard for me. And that is something I am really wanting to work on, because I don't like that about me. I think there's so many great things about my personality. And if you're like me, we all have our own superpowers, okay? Like, it's all great. We can't all be like everything. And so I am just recognizing some of my shortcomings from the kind of personality I have. And how can I find a little bit more of a balance, and trying to say no to a little bit more. How can I slow down just a little bit and have to work through those icky moments of feeling really tired, or like, what am I doing if I'm not doing anything? It's okay to just not do something. And just learning to value slowing down, doing less, saying no. This is good to live out always, not just in the summer, but always. And in the summer, it can get busy. And so it's even more of a good time to just, again, if your schedule changes and it allows for that little bit of extra time, take it for you, or for just not letting, the world dictate your thoughts and your opinions and your day and your energy, because it can get a little out of hand. And we can set some boundaries with our plans. We can set boundaries with our screens. We can, and even our tasks, and find the joy in slowing down. Like, just be like, you know what? The dishes can wait. Or, you know what? The lawn mowing can wait. Or I can just think of gardening, because that just takes up so much of my time. The gardening can wait. And just, even though that does actually force me to slow down, there are moments when it is not a slow, it's like game time, when it's like certain times of harvesting. But right now it's the putsy stuff, and it's the tending to it, and it's going out there and just being in the peace of that area. I really try to not take my phone out there. I do like it when I get to take pictures of the kids out there. So sometimes I'll do that, but typically we'll just set it up on the post, and I'm not really like on my phone a ton while I'm out in the garden, because I don't want that to be a space with that in there. But yes, the garden is one of the things that slows me down. It gets me outside. There's no noise from the world, and it brings peace to my soul. So get yourself a garden, okay? But we can get so wrapped up in the noise of social media and the news, and no wonder that our souls and our minds are never at rest. It's always being fed some opinion, a new product. We're spending more money than guilty. Before and afters, diet trends, events, you name it, etc. Let's learn to just like slow down, be present, set the boundaries, be present with your thoughts and with those who really deserve your attention. And I wanted to just kind of end with this little tidbit. If you think about like television and phones and social media and screens and like all that stuff, I mean, yeah, and like the news, I guess we'll say too. So like TV, I was looking it up. It was invented, like the first TV was invented like 100 years ago. But like when it really was starting to get into people's homes and people actually like sitting down and viewing TV as a family, that was less than 100 years ago. Phones and social media, all of these things have come into society less than 100 years ago. In the grand scheme of life, we are in 2025, guys. That is not a long time. That is a blip. What did people do for hundreds of years before that? Huh? What did they do? When things traveled slowly, they traveled by the Pony Express. You had to put a letter in the mail. You had to send a telegram. You couldn't use your phone. You couldn't send a text. You couldn't get news about what's going on in great-grandma Chi Hong in China and her whatever. I don't even know. Just like we get news so fast. When people did not have access to those things, we get fed stuff on TV constantly. We're wasting time and brain cells. I mean, I like me a good TV show too. But I'm just saying, like, how much of it is taking up so much of your space, your peace, and affecting that. And just like maybe not let it be so much in your life this summer. Have a more screen-free summer. And see what that does for you. And I know that we can do this. Let's make summer just as intentional as any other time of the year. Get your kids on board with something. Have them be intentional about something. Make some rich memories. Allow for slow-paced days. Not everything has to be documented and shared online. And, you know, I have been going back and forth in my mind with social media and, like, the desire for wanting to share things. And, like, it's for wanting to inspire and for wanting to show people. But then it's just, like, then it's gone. And then, like, people forget. And, like, I don't want to feel the pressure that I probably put on myself of like needing to share and keep up. And like I used to do a lot back in the day, social media wise, and posting and all the things, and that was what you had to do. And I don't know, I'm just kind of over it and trying to figure out where my place is with having multi-passions and wanting to help others, and how to do that without having my face in front of a screen all the time. But enough about me. Go make some rich memories. Allow for a more slow-paced days, slow-paced weekends. Unplug. Connect with humans in real life, in your home. It's okay to be with your thoughts and just sit in the mornings with your cup of coffee. Listen to the birds. Don't have any podcasts on or music or news. Just be. Go on a walk with nothing. Stay on top of your health because that matters every day, day to day, not just what you do in short bursts of time. So don't just take off for the 2-3 months of summer, go wild, and then be like, I'm going to get back on the diet trend, because we all know what happens next. It's then Halloween candy, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then you're like, shoot, it's January. I got to do something. Like, no, that's not how it works, people. Okay? Day to day. It's what you do day to day. Enjoy your parties, your events, your gatherings, your vacations, but it's everything else in between and how you choose to move and fuel your body that will carry you long term. So let's stay committed. Happy summer, friends, and I will see you on the next episode.